This is a dramatic reading of A Day in the Life, medieval peasant slash serf life. Hello, my name is Emma, daughter of Dominic. Well, I guess I'm still his daughter. He died of an unknown sickness when my sister and I were very young. Oh yes, I'm a twin. Me and my sister Gwen are the youngest of my mother, Catherine's 4 children. My older brothers are Pepin and Henry. Pepin is 18, so he's getting married soon. Him and his fiancée, Rosalind, have known each other for quite a while. My mother and her father arranged for them to be married, though. They don't get to choose. Mother says me and Gwen will get married someday, too. No way! I'll stay 6 forever. But since I'm 6, I don't have to work in the field yet. My mother and brothers give us chores, but after that, we can play all day, with the exception of meals. Today, however, we wanted to do something exciting. Day 1. I blinked my ice blue eyes open to see the mirror of myself lying on the other side of the mat. Are you ready? I asked, grinning. Gwen grinned back. Oui. Yes. We heard our mother telling them to get out of bed, so we quickly sprang out of bed into the next room. Our family is lucky. We have 2 rooms, one for sleeping, the other for cooking and eating. Our friends Rollo and Martha only have 1 room. I feel bad for them, but still, she couldn't wait until it was time. What the fuck am I talking about? Gwen and myself rushed through breakfast, and then she went to feed the chickens while I washed the dishes. When all was well, we rushed to Mother and asked together, "May we go out and play now?" Mother looked at us suspiciously and sighed. "Go ahead, next year will be your last year of playing. Enjoy it while you can." We squealed and scampered off in a storm. We were going to take a peek at the manor house. After a while, we got tired and stopped for a bit. "Oh no, we forgot Bartholomew," squealed Gwen. I began yelling, "Bartholomew! Mew! Bartho!" Soon a gray Tom with cool blue eyes appeared with his usual "Mwah." "Mew!" Gwen squealed, mauling. Meh, the cat grunted with protest. "Okay, let's go," I said. We walked through the woods, fields, and streams with the Tom close behind, though he stopped to investigate leaves and such where a mouse might hide. Every now and then I would toss Bartholomew a tiny scrap of meat. "Emma," Gwen scolded, we hardly ever get meat, and you're feeding it to a cat?" "He's not any cat," I muttered. "He's Bartholomew." Gwen snorted, then gasped and grabbed my shoulder and pointed. "Look," she whispered. It was the manor house. Bartholomew weaved around my legs, obviously aware of the rest of the meat in my pocket. I was too awestruck to notice, though. It was huge. I bet there was more than 4 rooms in there. Maybe even more than 6. Maybe even more than... Gwen? Shaken into reality, she responded, "What? What comes after 6 in numbers?" I don't know. I think 8? I only hear them when our brothers talk about them. Okay. More than 8 rooms. Doesn't Lord Mustafa live there? Uh-huh. Both girls giggled. What a strange name. Gwen's eyes suddenly grew round. A knight. Emma whispered, "Run! Come on, Bartholomew." Emma tossed him more meat. Why do I switch back and forth between first person and second person? Pray for 12-year-old me. Day 2. After breakfast, they went outside and watched the other peasants walk by. They always looked at them strangely, as there were rumors the twins were born. What? They always looked at them strangely, as there were rumors that twins were born when there were two fathers. We knew our only father was Dominic, though, so we didn't care how they looked at us. Emma, it's your turn to go feed the animals. Okay, Emma said, jumping up. As she got there, she saw the animals running around madly. There was a small child chasing them. All right, stop, I yelled at the laughing little girl. The little girl stopped suddenly and whispered softly, I'm sorry. The little girl had fluffy red hair. Who are you? I asked. My name is Thutberga, she muttered nervously. I looked around. Where are your parents? I questioned. Clovis and Tilly are my parents. They live in a manor house, Thutberga said. I sighed. Sit over there. Pointing to the side of the house, I was shaking slightly. I quickly fed and watered the animals, checked the garden, and hurried back. Come with me. Holding the little girl's hand tightly, I hurried back to Gwen to find her shivering before a knight. What happened? I tried to ask, when the knight said, There you are, Thutberga, loudly. I could feel her stiffen slightly in my hand. Are you Clovis, monsieur? I asked quickly and as polite as possible. Oui, I am Sir Clovis, and you are holding the daughter I have been looking for's hand. I let Thutberga's hand go, and she sadly walked over to her father and his page. Bonjour, good day, he said simply, while the page helped the little girl onto the horse next to her father. The knight, Thutberga, and the page slowly disappeared. Bon seigneur. Good lord, Gwen breathed. This has got to be God's punishment for sneaking to see the manor house. I nodded, feeling a soft shape rub against my leg. Bonjour, Bartholomew. Hello, I said weakly. Day 3. Today we were determined to catch a fish in the small river, though fish were scarce and small. Bartholomew followed us in our scarce supplies. We crouched next to the smelling bank, waiting for any sign of fish. Then Gwen shouted, after what seemed to be like years, Regardes! Look, Gwen squealed. I looked where she was pointing and saw the water rippling. Bartholomew crept forward, slowly and stealthily. No, Mew, I hissed. The gray Tom ignored me. I'll go get hit, Gwen began, but with the flick of a paw and a splash, Bartholomew had a fish in his jaws. Gwen cheered and I said, Le bon travail, Mew. Good job. Let me say that I'm gonna, ask 12-year-old me to meet me in the pit because I can't stop switching between first and third person, and it's, really pissing me off, so at 12-year-old me, meet me in the pit. Gwen went over and attempted to take the fish, but the cat growled and held onto his prize tight. Mew, Gwen said crossly, don't be stubborn, but Bartholomew just growled again. Emma, help me, she said. Emma rushed over and held the Tom down while Gwen grabbed the fish and yanked it out. Bartholomew hissed and glared at us. At least give him the tail, Gwen, I told her. It's really his. Gwen said again, tossing the tail to the cat. The gray Tom snatched it up and ran off. Gwen stuck her tongue out at him, and I rolled my eyes. Let's go home and show Mira now, Mother.
Many years later.
I wiped sweat off my forehead and gazed into the field. I recalled times when I was much younger and didn't have to do work. Pepin and Rosalind had long since been married and moved out. Henry was also married and gone. Gwen, my mother, and I were the last in the house. Soon, however, my mother would be alone. Me and my sister were betrothed to Rollo and Percival, as we come of age. Yes, it says not had. I wondered what life without Mira and Gwen would be like. Rollo was nice enough and hardworking, but I had no choice. God had decided my fate, and I had no quarrel. I remembered my old cat, Mew. He had become the father of many kittens, which we took care of and befriended. My current favorite was a perky she-cat named Bertha. She resembled her grandfather perfectly. I said kittens, and then, suddenly there's grand kittens. I guess that makes sense with time going on, maybe? But it's I didn't mention anything about grand kittens, and suddenly there's a grandfather cat. I sighed and looked at the fields ahead of me. I smiled weakly, brushed my platinum blonde hair aside, and looked at the reflection of myself and asked, "Are you ready?" Gwen laughed softly. "Oui," she murmured, weakly smiling back. The end.